Black women, you are some of the most nasty, disrespectful people on God's planet Earth. The things that you say about other black women, but you're an activist and you are educated and you are this and you are that and you are the other. Find yourself, because a degree does not give you class.
Rivah TV. What's up, guys? It's your girl Rivah, and I'm back again with another video. Now, Kelly Price went off. Okay? Kelly Price went off. I don't know who troubled Kelly Price, but they got, everything that she has been thinking for however amount of time, just poured out onto them. And if you guys are unaware of who Kelly Price is a phenomenal singer. Okay. I remember she has the song Friend of Mine, in which she did with Ronald Isley and R. Kelly. See, I was the one. She also had the song, one of my favorite songs actually, As We Lay. Morning. And, she's done background vocals for Mariah Carey. She is, when we think of, R&B and soul singing, one of the first people that we should be thinking of, if we're not, is somebody like the likes of Kelly Price. So apparently Kelly Price recently did a show in which she got a lot of backlash on what she was wearing. People were attacking her in the comments, and she let it rip. So I'm going to go ahead and press play, pause, play, then give you guys my thoughts, my feelings, my opinions on this entire situation.
I have prided myself on being an artist who, though I've been accused of a lot of things, the crazy thing about it is the industry that I work in is smoke and mirrors, and with the right machine behind anything, it's very easy to get people to believe what the powers that be want people to believe about you. But the truth of the matter is I'm not somebody that you've ever seen me running into clubs, getting into fights, and doing all kinds of stuff. I've always done I'm not perfect, but I've done my utmost best to maintain integrity where most people have none. And just no matter what, uphold what it is that I knew that I was taught as a child from my grandparents. Train up a child in the way that they should go, and when he or she is old, they won't depart from it. So I do my best not to try and fall into the trap of social media, because I do realize that there are a lot of people that grow an extra set of testicles, and I'm talking about females too, when they are behind their keyboards and they are on their phones. And a lot of the times they do it because they know they're never actually going to have an opportunity to stand in the face of the person and say what they say under a post to their face. I'm a songwriter first and foremost before I am a singer and a performer, so I'm very, very big on freedom of speech, because I literally earn a living using my words. But I'm gonna talk. I need to have a word with this generation, and when I say this generation, I'm not talking about age-wise, because I have men and women who are my age, and some that are a little bit older, that are just as ignorant and stupid as kids that were born less than 20 years ago and did not have the benefit of being taught by the elder generation.
I'm gonna let her continue, okay? But the one thing that I do want to say is that I love that she said this generation, and then she included people who are still kind of older, because it's 100% true. Like, even when I talk to, women or whatever on my platform, I can't even say, like in the modern women category, I can't even only put younger women, because you have older women who are doing the same foolishness as these younger girls who, as she said, didn't have, the direction from the women of yesteryear. So I love that she said that, but I'm gonna let her finish, because she's just getting started.
I do not expect that I'm going to be everybody's favorite, whether it's what I look like, what I sound like, what my clothes are, or any of those things. The one thing you will never catch me doing is going to someone else's social media page and talking in a disparaging way about them, disrespecting them to the utmost. Number one, for the men that do it, you will, and I will ask God to forgive me for this after this, but any man that feels that he has the right to disrespect a woman that has never done anything to them because they want to feel whatever and they realize that they will never have to say what they say under a picture or a video of me, something that is nasty and hurtful, and you want to put it there, you do that because you were. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart. Before I was saved, I was a black girl born and raised on the south side of Jamaica. So let's make that abundantly clear. Okay? That's number one. Number two.
Now, I think it was important, that she's talking about people, right? So she's not only talking about women. Her main conversation is targeted to the women, but also she did make mention of the fact that there were, people who were trolling her, that were men as well. And I've always thought that was kind of corny. Like, here's the thing, right? If a woman is thirst trapping on social media, at that point, you're opening the doors to receive whatever it is that you're putting out there. Okay? You're literally asking for some kind of response, some kind of opinion. And so if men, troll you or come under your post and give you what you were looking for, but not in the way that you're looking for it, I think that's one thing. But for men to go on a woman's page and, comment only about her looks or whatever and kind of get into that game, I think it's corny. I'm gonna keep it real. I think that's corny. If you're talking about the way that a woman is dressing or whatever the case is, again, not somebody who's thirst trapping. That's a whole different conversation, but just a woman who is just doing her own thing, performing or whatever, and you talking about her shoes or her shirt or whatever, I definitely think that's lame. Would I say that would make a man the B word? Personally, would I say that? Absolutely not. But would I say that that's corny? Yeah, I would say that.
To you women activists out here, you DEI hires who can ready to lose your job if you haven't lost it already, because guess what? I haven't lost mine, and I'm not going to lose it. Because while you fighting for somebody in another culture to get your job, God gave me my voice. And yes, I'm letting you have it right now because ain't nothing you can do about that. And while you looking for a new job, I'm still going to be selling out theaters and venues looking like a fat slob in clothes that you said that I look nasty in, and my feet are so damn big, and who dressed me. I'm still gonna be making my money. I don't even do this.
I think it's important for the context of this conversation for you guys to see like at least a snippet of what she was wearing during the event that people had so much to say on. So as you can see, obviously I can't play the audio because she is singing, but she is, she has on a blazer. She has on like these kind of capri pants, sneakers, a shirt tucked in with a buckle on. And, this is the thing that I don't understand. When I saw this post, I was genuinely expecting to see like an awful moment. Right? And as somebody who is definitely into clothes and fashion and stuff like that, like this was nothing that should have been something to be talked about. Now, is she perfect? Absolutely not. But is it a situation of where it would have caused all this backlash and slander? No. And what's so interesting to me, and this is no shade to anybody else, but when they have like, when you have a bigger girl, like the likes of a Lizzo who has on like a bikini and a bra or whatever, you have these same kinds of women under her comment section talking about, yes, queen, yes, sis, I'm so happy, yeah, let it all hang out. And then here you have a woman who is dressed neat and covered and, dressing for, her body type and her size, whatever the case is. And you have her getting backlash, like I said, from these same sets of people, which is crazy to me. And that's why I say it's like we're in this space now, or the era now, where it's like wrong is right and right is wrong. If she would have, came out and had, let it all hang out, everybody would have been applauding the situation. Oh, yes, queen, you did your big one. But she is, dressed appropriately. She's also has, shoes on for her comfort because she's there to perform. She's there to do a show. I don't see the big deal. Okay, I don't see the big deal. I thought it was important to bring it to you guys so you can see it. I'm going to let her continue.
But I'm so sick of black people and their bullshit. I'm saying what I want to say. If you got a problem with what I'm saying and Lord, pray for me. Because I'm not there yet. I'm not there yet. Okay? I'm not there yet. Black women, you are some of the most nasty, disrespectful people on God's planet Earth. The things that you say about other black women, but you're an activist and you are educated and you are this and you are that and you are the other. Find yourself, because a degree does not give you class. Find yourself, because a degree ain't gonna get your stupid ass into heaven. Find yourself, because being a keyboard thug on social media ain't gonna do nothing but get your ass whipped when somebody walk up on you that don't know, that you don't even know is watching you.
Here's the thing. Okay? Here's the thing. Isn't it ironic how that full circle, I'm a PhD, that Kevin Samuels used to say just comes back full circle?
Because they asked if she's married. She's like, oh, I'm not married because I choose not to be. I'm a PhD. Yeah, you.
Don't we see that women who act one way towards men, it doesn't only affect men, it also affects women? Don't you see that the women who think that they are, they know everything, and as she said, they have all their degrees, and that, they've accomplished so much that they are just above everybody else, not just men. They feel like they're above women too. Don't we see the negative effects of that now? But when Kevin said it, he was, a hater and tripping and all these things. It's the same thing. And I hate to be the one to say it, but as a black woman, I have the privilege of being able to take part in this conversation from my own experience. But it's very true what she's saying. It's very true. A lot of times, whether it's their own insecurities, their own problems, their own, whatever. And that's why whenever I come on this platform, and I've been, talked about and said the most horrendous things to from black women, that don't bother me. Because I know that in holding women accountable, that's already a seat that a lot of people are not willing to stand in. But also, I have the understanding of the fact that even if I came here as peaceful, as calm, as cool, as collected, and I don't even think I'm aggressive. But even if I said the most nicest things possible, they would still nitpick it. Because if you are nitpicking somebody who is not holding you accountable, who's not saying nothing to you, imagine somebody who is.
I said what I said. I said what I said. I would never disrespect somebody. Social media and digital media literally is the electronic equivalent to someone's home. The things that you do when you go to somebody's page and say something that's nasty and hurtful and disrespectful is the equivalent of somebody ringing somebody's doorbell, coming in their house and trying to tell them how they should run their household. It's very simple. If you don't like how I sound, unfollow. If you think that my clothes look horrible, unfollow. But the reality of it is if I got up in a potato sack on any stage with a microphone, most people that call themselves singers are going to be hard pressed to do anything with me. People don't come to see what I look like. They come to see or hear what I sound like.
Now, I'm going to be honest. I 100% agree with what she's saying right here. And the reason why is because if you guys know Kelly Price from Primetime Kelly Price, okay? Kelly Price was the bigger girl in an era of singers who were, 90s slim and all that kind of stuff. And she was, running amok. So 100%, it's never necessarily, and she always had herself put together. Don't get it twisted. Not because I'm saying bigger girl doesn't mean that she didn't have herself put together. But she always looked very nice, whatever, but was, a bigger girl. So it was about her vocal capabilities. It was about that. It was about how amazing her voice is. She's an amazing singer. Absolutely, it was about that. And so it's not the same as somebody who is serving fashion. It's not somebody who is the same as that's in a certain space where, they care more about, you're bringing the fashion and the music. They want to see, it's a whole different. Just like the likes of like a Keke Wyatt. I see people troll her all the time and talk about what she wears and stuff like that. Don't nobody care about what Keke Wyatt is wearing. Okay? Because when she opens her mouth and she sings, that's all that people are there for. 100%. So I do understand exactly what it is that she's saying, because she's like, hello, that's not what I'm not here to be, top 10 fashionista and compete with all these people and get on the cover of this magazine. Like, that's not what it's about. It's about the art. And so I understand, her voicing her frustration about that, because like I said, it's not the same thing. It's not.
And no two people are going to have the same style, or whatever the case may be, or what makes them comfortable. And in real life, I'm looking at you nasty hoes, and I said what I said. You with your degrees and all of that. I'm looking at you stupid hoes online talking about other black women that have never done anything to you. And you are disgusting.
It's ironic to me that, you see a lot of black women come on social media and talk about that they're the least protected, and that they're the least spoken for, and, black men don't help them, and other women don't help them, and that they're so vulnerable, and like kind of like portraying this, 100% victim mindset against, black women, against society as a whole. And then in the same token, they're the main ones. Okay, inciting the problems, the trauma, the issues, the drama. And I'm not talking about all black women. That would be foolish for me to consider all black women a part of this conversation, because I'm a black woman. I'm not a part of the conversation. But the majority of the time, they are the front runners of calling somebody out, checking somebody, disrespecting somebody, dissing somebody, commenting on the way that somebody looks. And none of it is constructive. It's not like they're coming from a place of constructive criticism. No, they're coming from a place of, I'm going to, clown you out, disrespect you, try you, and you just going to have to deal with it. Because, that's what it is. And then in the same voice are campaigning that they're the least protected and the most vulnerable and the most this and the most that. When Sherri Shepherd got on her show and called women out. And if you guys don't remember, it was I believe the Vanity Fair party. And she called out the likes of, the Megan Thee Stallion and a whole bunch of other people.
Zoe Kravitz graced us with her butt crack. You could see everything. Megan Thee Stallion wore a dark green gown with only matching green pasties to cover up her breasts. Let them use their imaginations. They don't have any secrets. Nobody gets to use imagination or their mind.
After Sherri Shepherd got on the internet and said that, they dragged her worse. Phylicia Rashad, okay, who was Claire Huxtable at one time, everybody's mama or auntie, got on the internet and talked about the way that women dress.
You came from an era, Miss Rashad, where dignity and grace were everything. So do you ever look at how wild Hollywood is now and you just think to yourself, boy, y'all got it easy. Y'all wouldn't have got away with that in my day.
Yeah, you'd have to look at Hollywood. I could look at the way young ladies dress.
They dragged her for filth.
No disrespect to Phylicia Rashad, but she is a pick-me also.
And these are women who are talking from a constructive standpoint. Constructive. And here you have the same, everybody's against us. Nobody don't like us. Everybody's this. And we have the hardest time. And they are the ones who are throwing all the darts.
I don't understand how you, as a queen, who is educated, and you want to be somebody's role model, and these are the things that you do. You know what I do as a role model? I send other people's kids to college, and I don't make a press announcement about it because I don't need anybody to know that I did it. I give dozens of families Thanksgiving dinner, not behind an organization, my household, my husband and I personally. We feed people during the holidays. We make sure that people's children who may not otherwise be able to have a birthday or celebrate Christmas, that they're able to do it because times are hard. And we both came from that, so we know what that is. And I always told God, if he ever blessed me so that I could help take care of somebody else, that I would do it. My grandfather always said it was one of the things that he said all the time. He would say to his congregation, and he would say it to us, his children. He would say, you don't necessarily need to be seen giving. You don't give to be seen. You do not give to be seen. But sometimes it's good to be seen giving.
The thing is that I know that she's very hurt. I can tell. I can tell that she's genuinely hurt by this. I mean, obviously, that's why she made the post. But she's obviously clearly hurt about this situation. So much so that she's like, hey, like, I'm a nice person. I'm a giver. Like, still trying to prove, like, I'm undeserving of this situation. And I think that what she's not understanding is that it has nothing to do with what you give. This has nothing to do with how good you are. Has nothing to do with how kind you are. It has to do with the fact that these people feel, these women in particular, black women in particular, feel that they are able to do whatever it is to anybody else, and it should never turn back around on them. Hence why when you have people who are holding women accountable, black women accountable, they come out swinging. How dare you? How dare you? And to be honest, you know, even in what this conversation is based in is the fact that, you know, no one is above reproach. Kelly Price is not above reproach. Nobody is above reproach. And unfortunately, a lot of black women believe that, you know, nobody should ever have anything to say about them. And it's not true. I mean, once you're on social media, you already out there. People have the ability to nitpick, to talk about, to criticize, to do all these things because the platforms are there and people are, you know, they feel able to do so. Once there's a comment section, they feel that even if I have nothing nice to say, I can leave it all here in the comment section. That's just the truth of what it really is. Should they? Is a different conversation. But are they technically able to do so? They are able to do so. And again, nobody's necessarily above reproach. But again, I understand her point of the conversation because ironically, again, the same women who complain at being, stifled in their careers or overlooked or, like I said, unprotected are the same ones who are doing these things.
Especially when you are somebody that people look up to. People need to know that you do give and you help other people. But there are things that I do for the community and for families and for children that nobody will ever know about because I don't need a press release behind it. And if the best that you can do to try to come against me is to talk about the way my stomach looks in my outfit, is to talk about how big my feet look in my shoes, is to talk about how unstylish you think I am, go for it. Go for it. I don't need to disrespect you. I don't need to disrespect you. What I'm encouraging you to do is unfollow me. Do yourself a favor and unfollow me because you are putting yourself in a very dangerous position by attacking me and dragging me on social media when I've done nothing to anyone. Period. God takes care of me, and he also takes care of my enemies. You know why? Because I don't bother anybody. Say what you want to say about me. I do not bother anybody. I go to work when I'm supposed to be there. I do my job, and I do it better than most. Say what you want to say. And even on nights when I don't feel well, I still sing live. No one has ever been to a Kelly Price concert where I lip sync, because that's unfair to the audience. And I'm speaking to black women because what I literally just saw was a bunch of black women and black men underneath a photo from this weekend and a clip from my performance this weekend. The crazy thing is, it's a concert. You didn't say I sounded horrible. You said my feet look like boats in my shoes. You said my clothes look disgusting. You said I've never had any style. That's what you said about me. That's your personal opinion. Because when somebody looks at you, whether you know them or not, they looking at you and they think you look like a gorilla. They think you look like a mud duck. Beauty's in the eye of the beholder. If you don't like what I look like, get the hell off my page.
Now, here's the thing, right? There's conversations and then there's conversations. And within the conversation, right, there is a point where some people are offering criticism, and sometimes you can look into it and be like, dang, you know what? I am tripping. Maybe I could look into this, or maybe I could do that. You know, sometimes there is negative criticism that people can look into and do things to adjust themselves and to try to, you know, make sure that they're in certain bounds. So, you know, as much as we only talk about or praise the positive conversation, sometimes there is, you know, certain negative feedback that we can get to also check ourselves, right? And make sure that we are how we're presenting how we want to present, or whatever the case is. I just want to go off by saying that, okay? Because in my, you know, personal opinion, there is, you know, ways that you can grow from both experiences, from positive feedback and negative feedback. If everybody is clapping for you, tooting your own horn, or celebrating you, sometimes there's places that you're unable to grow, right? Whereas if you have a stylist, maybe sometimes your stylist can tweak things based off of the feedback, or, you know, we don't want you looking this way, and we don't want you to come out in this space and be seen in this way. And so we can figure these things out. The thing is that I think that, like I said, what hurts her the most about this situation is because obviously she's never received as much negative feedback as she recently just got, number one. And number two, she's like, what did I do to y'all? You know? And these are supposed to be my sisters who I've been representing for how, you know, many years. And so, you know, it is important that the conversation is had, you know, on behalf of her being hurt, of course, but also mainly because a lot of these other women who are out there needed to be checked. They needed to be. Because it's something that they do on a consistent basis, not just to their sister, but they do it to black men as well. Who receives the most backlash on black men on the internet? Like, who are the people who are giving the most feedback on black men negatively? It's black women. It is. And we can talk about who, you know, started it first, or who's taking it. But black women have to be accountable for their own actions. Because, again, you can't in one breath say that you are, you know, victimized, or that you have the hardest time and that nobody protects you, when you are the person that people need to be protected from. 100%. 100%. I have to say, Kelly Price is a phenomenal singer. Okay? Phenomenal singer and songwriter. And I'm glad that she said it. I'm just going to be honest. I'm glad she said it. I'm glad that she called these women out, because I think they need to be. I'd like to know what you guys think about this in the comment section down below. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this entire situation, conversation, everything she had to say in the comment section down below. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up, and I will see you guys in the next one. Love you.
Rivah TV.